Thanks everyone for joining today. I think most of you already know me. My name is Carmen and I'm Customer Success Manager at StoryChief. So in today's webinar, we are going to discuss and to see how you can execute a content strategy with StoryChief. If you have any questions now or later, don't hesitate to use the Q&A option that you have at the bottom. And I'm also recording the session, so we will send the recording probably later this week to all of you and to everyone who subscribed and couldn't attend. So feel free to add any questions that you have or share anything you want to know. But as I said, so let's see how we can execute a strategy with StoryChief, right? So first of all, let's see why it is important to set up a content strategy. So I think most of you know that content marketing is the most efficient and sustainable way to promote your brand, to bring traffic to your website, and is quite cheap. It costs 60% less than traditional marketing, and it generates up to 3 times more leads. So I think it's proven to be working great for all of us. But it's not only the price or the effort, it's also that nowadays it's crucial to share the right content at the right moment with your potential customer, with your potential leads, but also with your existing customer database. By doing so, by promoting your content with them at the right moment, at the right channel, you will become a thought leader, and at the end, this will convert into sales. And this is what all of us want. But you can only achieve all of this if you have a structured content campaign, if you share your content in a structural way, if you also put all your team efforts on the same page. And this is something that StoryChief can help with. And this is what we will be seeing today. So we believe that there are 7 steps to create a right content marketing strategy. First step is know your target audience. So you need to know who your buying persona is, who you want to focus to sell your product or your service. So you can do so by researching the market, doing some A/B tests, checking what the competitors are doing, until you find this persona, this target audience that you want to focus on. It's also important to set clear goals, so they have to be realistic, they have to be measurable, and also important, relevant to your brand, that they make sense and that they are easy to reach. Because otherwise, if they are not easy to reach, if they are not really meant to be reached, then your team won't be motivated enough to continue pushing for that. Also important, create an inventory. So you probably have a lot of content, assets, media, documentation all over the place, but you need to centralize it in one place. It can be a Google Drive account, it can be a Dropbox account, it can be a DAM system, it can be any platform, but you need to centralize it in one place. So it's a place to go whenever you want to access some media, some assets, some designs for you, but also for your team. 4th step, and from now on, all the steps that come afterwards can be done in StoryChief. So that's what we are going to see today, is now that you have your strategy, now that you have your target audience, and you have an idea, you need to specify a period of time for that campaign to be launched, but also the format of your strategy, what type of content, and what is the format of the content that you want to publish, keywords, budgets, if you want to work with ads or not, the channels that you are going to use. So you really need to study and centralize, or to basically indicate what all these factors are going to be included in this campaign. Then you have to document it. Not only important for you, but also for the rest of your colleagues, and also so that in the future you can look back and check what you did, when, and what was the result, and what things you can take and what things you can leave. So it's really important to find a tool where you can centralize all this data, content, information, all the communication, everything. And this is where StoryChief takes place. So this is what you can do with StoryChief. Next, once everything is planned, then you can already start promoting your content, start publishing your content, share it with your colleagues, share it on social media, promote it as much as you can. Try to spread the content to all the corners possible. And once the campaign is finished, then you can measure the insights, the result of it. So you can see what things worked, what things didn't work, things that you can use for the next campaign, or things that you can leave out. If you want more information on this, you can also consult our website, where we have this checklist with all the steps and some more information on how to get it. But as I said, the three first steps are things that you need to do pre-StoryChief. You need to do that before working with StoryChief or before you go into practice with StoryChief. But from the fourth step onwards, you can use StoryChief for all of it. So I think it makes sense to start using StoryChief in this way to achieve that. Let me go to my workspace. That's the one that I've been using for other webinars as well. I think you know it by now. And today I'm going to show you a campaign that has been already completed and what the result of it is. And then we are also going to create a campaign, and we are going to plan our strategy from scratch using StoryChief, so that you know how to do this yourself as well. The best tabs or the best features that you will use for this is, of course, campaigns and calendar. So we will be focusing on these two mainly. First, I'm gonna go to campaigns. So here we find all the campaigns that we have at the moment. Some of them are already completed, some of them are running. So here we find all these strategies, all these projects that we have been working on. So a campaign is just a group of content. It's just a place where you centralize your content, your media, the data, the information. But then you can also follow up on it, and then you can also measure how the campaign is doing or has done in the past. So for example, we have some previous campaigns with all the stories and social posts from 2020, the same about 2019, some ongoing campaigns. A campaign can also be ongoing, about our mission and values, testimonials that we like to publish from time to time. And then this is the campaign that we are going to check today, which is almost about to be finished. So it's just one more week. There is already some reach in it because we have been already publishing the content on the website and on social media and with our ambassadors. And then we also see a number of fields that you won't have in your workspace. This is because I created those fields specifically on my workspace. So these are custom fields that you can create on your own based on your needs, depending on what you want to track and what you want to achieve. So some examples is the budget of the campaign, the target audience, so this would be the buying persona, the KPI, this is the key performance indicator to, this is a goal that I want to achieve. So what do I want to achieve? For example, get 50 new sign-ins, or improve sector leadership, so it can be anything relevant to your business. Some keywords for this campaign. For example, I also wanted to add a PDF. This is an ebook that we have created, and I just wanted to link it to the campaign to centralize all this content, as I said. A link to the inventory. I'm using Google Drive, but you can use any other platform. Also a display image that can be used for a landing page or for any post that I want to create. And then, because it's almost the end of the campaign, it's not completely, but we have already received some results, I created 2 custom fields that can only be added, or that I will only add by the end of the campaign, with the actual result. So, okay, I had a goal. What is the result of it? Did I meet my expectations, or I am too far from it? And also, I want just to check if it was a successful campaign, yes or no. This will help me filter this view in the future to see, okay, I want to have a list with all the campaigns that have been successful in the past. So if I go back to the page, I see here the possibility to create filters. For example, I created a filter just for internal campaigns. So this would be these two at the bottom. I just want to track the content that I published on 1 year. For example, successful campaigns, as I said before. So here the variable is that successful campaign is yes. And then I get a list with all of them. So these are just some examples for you to know that you can really work with smaller segments to focus a bit more on what is important. If I have a look at this, so I go to content, let's have a look at what the campaign looks from the inside. So first we have some general information, and as I said, this is really important for you. You will forget after 1 year, you won't remember anymore what this campaign was about and what was the KPI and what was the result. So it's important that you still centralize all the data, all the information in one place. But also for your colleagues, because they don't have to ask you about a link or can you tell me when the campaign is starting. They can just come in and see it. So we have a description. In this case, this campaign goes about the launch of an online platform. So I just added a small description, running time. I put some budget, keywords. It's still running. There are some collaborators. The target audience is everyone based in Europe and in the US, but this is completely up to you, of course. My KPI is to get 50 new sign-ins for this new online platform. I have a link to the ebook, so if I click, I will download the PDF, so everyone can download the PDF from here. I also have a link to my Google Drive folder, so if I click on it, I just go directly to the folder where I have all the media, all the assets that I want to use for this campaign. I have also just an image in here so that people can also see the main image that we want to use. And then, even though it's not the end of the campaign yet, I just wanted to add some results. So we got 62 sign-in. So yeah, I think we can say that it has been a successful campaign. If I want to edit any of those, I can just click on edit, and then I can just go through all the fields. Also give it a color, which is something new that we have released in the last couple of days. So I can change everything on the go, or even I can add more custom fields in here. But I'm also going to show you how to create those. I see already one question. Keep sending your questions because I will be stopping from time to time to answer them. So the question says, when you are in a campaign, are the stories listed in order of publishing date or in order of creation? Yeah, that's a really good question. So for now, at the moment, they are listed by order of creation. So the ones that you create are at the top. There have been some discussions with my colleagues on how to change this. For some people, they prefer the due date. For some people, it's the publication date. It depends on what you need to do. A writer may prefer the due date because that's the deadline. Maybe someone else prefers the publication date so that they follow an order. So it's difficult for us to meet or to find one common ground for everyone. But for now, it's based on creation dates. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So if I scroll down a bit, I find an overview, and I find 3 types of content that I can add to my campaign. First of all is events. This is just notes or events or specific notes that you want to add to your calendar. So these are things that don't specifically are related to StoryChief, but that you want to include in your campaign and in your calendar. For example, in this case, on the 30th of June is the launch day of the online platform. So that has nothing to do with StoryChief, but I just want to make sure that it's clear that everyone can see when the launch day is. And I can also use that reminder to create my content based on that specific date. If you have events that are already in the past, you can also consult them. For example, here I just wanted to prepare my release last week, so it's already in the past. So you can really see what you still need to do. Then we have a list with all the stories that have been linked to this campaign. So in total there are 7 stories that you can also click here to view. But you can also see the specific statuses. For example, I can see how many are scheduled. So there is one that has been approved and is already scheduled for publication. There are also, I think, one in review, so it's pending by one of our colleagues. I see also the same one is in draft, and then a bunch of them have already been published. So you can also follow on that. You can also add stories from here, but we will do that afterwards. And then the same with social posts. So we also have a full list of here, 6 social posts in total, and then we can see which ones are scheduled, which ones are in review or in draft. So you can really follow here everything that is happening. And on the right-hand side, you also find some recent activities. So you can see everything that has been happening about this campaign. So for example, I have requested approval a day ago. I also requested approval a few hours ago. There has been some content scheduled. Some content was accepted. So you can see where your team is working at and how they are moving forward and how they are, accomplishing the campaign. Let's see how this displays on the calendar. So if I go to my calendar, I land in the month of June. This is where we are at the moment. And I see that all the content that has been linked to that campaign also receive the same color. So all the content linked to a campaign will receive the same color that the campaign has. So for me now it's really clear to see, okay, this content is about a specific campaign, while this newsletter is about a different campaign. So for me it's really clear to visualize, to see the big picture of my content when I go to the calendar. Of course, you can also still work with all these segments and say, okay, I only want to see everything related to this campaign. So I select it. I can even also save this segment and give it a name. So I don't need to select the variables. I can just save it and it will be saved on this left-hand side. But now I only see the content for this specific campaign. So it's even easier. But it depends on how much content you have. So by looking at this, I see that some content has been published. These are some social posts on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Pinterest. I can also click to see some more information. So it was published on the 7th of June. There is only one collaborator, and I can also see the campaign that has been linked. The same with the rest of the content. For example, here, I can also see that this is just an ambassador channel for the sales team that is still on draft. So it's planned to be published on the 24th of June, but it's not scheduled yet. So I know I still need to do this because it's not scheduled and it's not published yet. And this is how I can really check and make sure that my content is being scheduled and published on the right moment, on the right channels. Here I find my event, the one that we saw on the campaign, so I have it here. I can also edit it, I can change the date, the times, and everything I want. But that's for me more than enough to see, okay, my campaign is going well, and I just need to do these last drafts in the coming 2 weeks, and then my campaign will be finished. So this is what it looks like on the calendar. Yeah, so there is one good question. How can I get the colors? Yeah, I knew you would ask this because that's also a really nice color, right? So you do this by assigning the color to the campaign. So if I go back to my campaign, if you look, each campaign has been given a color. So this one, our campaign is this blue, green, pink, green. So you can give it a color by editing the campaign or when you create it from scratch. So if I edit the campaign, then I find the color picker in here. You can also ignore the colors, but I think it's really visual and you can give any of those colors in here. Okay. There is another question as well that I missed. Can you show where you add the assets inventory and how to link it? I don't see it when I push edit button in campaign. Yeah. So exactly. So these are all custom fields that I have created specifically for my workspace. But you won't have them. You need to create them if you want them, if you need them. You can also change the title. I put assets inventory, but you can put something else instead. So let's do that first. To create all these custom fields, I go to my name at the top right, and then I click on settings. Here I go again to settings, and then I scroll down to custom fields. And now you will see the list of custom fields that I have created. So you can create custom fields on campaign level, as you have seen now, but also on stories level and also on social post level. So it will help you track anything you want, anything that is not by default available in StoryChief, but is important to you. You can just add it as a custom field and then just type or fill it in with the right information. So if we have a look here, I have budget, which is added to the social post feature and also to campaigns. The target audience also to campaigns, KPI, keywords, link to the ebook, assets inventory, and this is a text type. So if I want to create a new one, I click on the plus button and I can choose a type of field. So it can be just a box to add some text. It can also be a large text, so then I also get all the HTML options to change the format and to add some headers or some bullet points, for example. It can also be an autocomplete, so I already have some pre-made options that you can just select. It can also be a single option drop-down or a multiple option drop-down, so you have several options and you can select multiple ones. It can be a date picker, so you find a calendar where you can select specific dates. It can be an image, that's the one that I had with the small logo. It can be an email address, or it can be a file. This is the one that I used for the PDF, for the ebook. But the one that I used for the assets is just text, so you just need to put the link in it. If I scroll down, I see also a few custom fields for social posts, for example. In this case, I just want to indicate if the social post was retargeted or not, because I cannot do that with StoryChief, but I can do that outside, and then I can just select a yes or a no in StoryChief to just have all the information in one place. For stories, I also have a couple. For social posts, I also have a stage. So you can create as many as you need. It depends on how you want to track your information. But it's up to you and up to your creativity to do this. So I think I answered your question, but otherwise just let me know and I will give some more information. So now we have seen how campaign looks like, right? So it's not finished yet, but it's almost. So we can consider that the campaign has been successful, it has met expectations. But now I want to create my next campaign, my next strategy for the next month. So if we go back to the previous slides, I need to do this exercise, right? So for my next campaign, I need to know my target audience. So in this case, I want everyone, I want all the new leads, everyone who is interested can be my target audience. It depends on what you want to and what the topic of the campaign is. You may want to target only customers or leads or partners or specific users, specific clients only from a region. So this is up to you. In my case, for the next campaign, so the summer is here and it's quite hot, so I want to create a campaign on how to survive the summer, how to survive the heat wave, but also how to stay productive and Don't procrastinate that much while it's super hot and all you want to go is going on holiday. So for this case, to be honest, my target audience is all our leads, all our customers. I think all of them can benefit from this. But my goal is to get more leads. So I'm expecting to attract more leads with this campaign. I also created an inventory. So if I go to my Google Drive, I've created already a folder in here with the name of my campaign, and I have already added some assets. So it can be media, but it can also be some extra information, the budget, the target audience, everything that you want to include in your campaign. So I will paste the link to this folder as well in my custom field later. I want to plan it already, so I have the first 3 steps. I want to plan it in StoryChief, so I want to select my period of time, the format, the keywords. I want to select all of this. So let's do that in StoryChief right now. To do so, first I'm going to create a campaign, right? So I'm going to click on New Campaign. I'm gonna give it a name. Let's say, for example, Best Practices to Survive Summer. I will give it a date. In this case, I only want it to last the month of July, from the 1st of July until the end of July. So I see here that the duration is 30 days. I can add some description if I want to. I'm the owner. I'm going to add some of my colleagues who will be working on this as well. And I'm going to give it a color because I think it looks really nice. So I'll choose this orange. And now I have all the custom fields here below that I can fill in. So the budget for this will be, for example, $800. My target audience will be all of them. These are just options that I added. This is a multiple option custom field. My KPI in this case will be, for example, attract 20 new leads. You can also create new KPIs or new options from scratch here. So you click on create new option and then you say, for example, attract 50 new leads. You can also give it a color. This one, perfect. So now I have both. I will delete the first one. My keywords will be, for example, summertime, link to the ebook. I don't have it yet. I haven't made my ebook yet, so I will leave it for now and I will add it later. But here I can actually upload a file from my computer with a PDF or a Word document or something similar. Here I have my custom field for the assets inventory, so I can go back to my folder. I can take the link to it, copy link, and then I can just, not here, here. I can just paste it. So now my link is in here. I can also add a display image. These are all custom fields, are all optional, but I just want to show you as many examples as possible. For example, this one for summer. And then the actual result and the successful campaign, I need to leave it empty for now because I don't know yet what the result is. So I click on save, and now my campaign has been created. So you find it here with the color. It's still upcoming because, yeah, it hasn't started yet. It will start on the 1st of July. And here you have all the information, all the data that I have added. If I go inside, the campaign is empty. There is nothing yet, right? I do see my information in here. I think some of them didn't get saved. So let me try again. So I'll say all of them. This is okay, this is okay, yes, okay. So my campaign is still empty. There are no events, there are no stories, and there are no social posts. So the next step would be to start creating the content that I want to publish during the month of July. I have already anticipated a bit to this so that we don't waste a lot of time. And if I go to the calendar now, and if I go to the month of July, because that's the month for my campaign, I have already anticipated myself and I have already created and planned all the content for my copywriters. So I have already created some draft blog articles that will be published on my William blog, HubSpot, Medium, the newsletter for MailChimp, and shared on ambassadors. Here as well, another another blog article. Here some social posts, a newsletter. I always like to send a newsletter in the middle of the campaign to promote it a bit more. So here I have all my content. It doesn't have any color because it doesn't have any campaign yet. If I click on any of those, it's not linked to any campaign yet, so it doesn't have any color. But I want to link all of this to my new campaign, right? That's what I want. I want to make sure that everyone knows that all this content is assigned and is linked to a specific strategy. So then, how can I do this? There are two ways. First way is by going to the campaign. So I go back to my campaign. Here, I click on content, and then I can just click on add, and then select from existing, and then find the event that I want to link or events. The same with stories and social posts. I can also either start from scratch, but I already have my content in there, or I can just select all the existing ones. That's one way to do this. Of course, here you don't have much information, so you may not recognize the post and you may link the wrong one. So it depends on how good you know your own content. But there is an easier way, at least for me, and this is by going to the stories overview and also by going to the social post overview. So here I do have more information about all these blog articles. So I know more about who these are. So I can say, okay, this one, all of them are related to my campaign. So I selected them all, and then I go to actions and I say add to campaigns. And here I can select the campaign that I want to link them to, this one. So I click on move, and now all these stories will be linked to the campaign. So you can see it here as well. Now we can do the same with the social posts. So we go to the social post overview. And here I just need to select the social posts that are related to this campaign, and then again actions, add to campaigns, and I select the campaign, and that's it. So now if I go back to my campaign, I will already see some more information, some more content in there. So it was really quick for me to do this. So I go to my campaign, and then if I scroll down, I do see all the stories in here and all the social posts. Of course, they are all as drafts, so they are not published, they are not in review, they are still completely empty and ready to be written by our copywriter. Here at the top, I find all the other fields. For example, this one became a link because it has the format of a link. So it's really easy for me to click and access the link to Google Drive or to any other platform. And if I go to the calendar and I go to the month of July, because this is where our campaign is taking place. So I go to July, and now I find all of them. I didn't link this one, but I find all of them with the specific color that the campaign has. So it's great. Now for me it's really clearer than ever to see. And I can see that they are planned and they are still on draft, so nothing has been done yet, nothing has been published or scheduled yet, so makes sense because it's a new campaign. I do see, for example, that the newsletter hasn't been linked to the campaign yet. So I can do that from here, or I can do that also from the campaign overview. So like this. Perfect. And this is how I can really make sure that everything is under control, and it's quite visual. It's easy to visualize it as well. I think it's a really nice let's go back to our slide. So we have planned the strategy, we have documented, so we have created our campaign with all the data, all the information. We haven't really yet started publishing the content, but this will come, and then we can measure the results. So let's say, for example, that I want to schedule the first one, right? So I go back to my story. I can click directly from here to edit story. I see it's pending approval, so actually my copywriter has already written it, and I can actually already approve it and schedule it. So, I mean, why not? Let's do that. This is part of the execution of the campaign. So I just go to the article. I see that Penelope requested it to me earlier today, but I'm just gonna close it for now. First thing I want to check is the SEO, which is really great, 97%. I think it's doing really well. Readability is also fair enough. So it looks really good. If I go to the summary, I also see the image. I see everything that I asked her to do. So I can already schedule it. I see all my channels in here. They are all already set for the 4th of July. So I can click on schedule. I see all the dates in here and the times, and I can click on confirm, and then everything will be scheduled to go out. I can also link this story to the campaign because I didn't do it, I forgot to do that before. So let's go back to the content and do it now so that it looks really with all the colors as it deserves. So I think is this one, yes. So this one, you can do it also, by the way, from clicking the 3 dots and then manage campaigns, or by selecting it and actions, add to campaigns. So it's the same, like this, perfect. So yeah, that's it. Now I'm starting to execute my campaign. It's already, I'm still waiting for my copywriters to keep writing the content, to send it for me, to send it to me for review. But yeah, for now I'm still waiting, and it will be only by the end of July that I will finish my campaign, and then that I will be able to measure and to see the results. Because we cannot use this one because there is nothing to see. Let me show you the results, the metrics, because that's our last step. Measure your landings. So let me go to one of my demo accounts where I have a campaign that has been completed and that has some more data to show. So this is this one here at the top. This is another workspace, which is called demo account. And here there are 2 campaigns. Both of them have been completed already yesterday. It just lasted like about a month. Here there are some other custom fields, not all of them. You can, by the way, add all these custom fields to this view by clicking on this button. So here you can add or disable the custom fields that you want, and all the other columns as well. So let me check the report for this. You can click either on report or first on content and then on insights. And let's see what this campaign is about. So we are now at the insights. We see that the running time was from May 29 to June 20. So it makes sense that we select the same period in here. You don't have to, but if you want to know how the campaign has done completely, then it makes sense to do it this way. So I select the 29th of May until the 20th of June. I click on apply. And now I see the results. So I see there are 2 stories that have been published, one on the 11th of June, the other one on the 14th of June. The number of reads has gone up, I think. I think we can be proud of this result with only 2 articles. It's not that bad. I also see 4 social media posts that were published on the 5th of June, all of them at the same time. And engagements and impressions have gone a bit lower. This number basically reflects what is the change in comparison with the previous period. So if we have selected here like 3 weeks, then this would be in comparison with the 3 weeks before. So it's just always checking the previous period. We also see some breakdown based on the audience, for example, but what I want to see is my engagements. So for example, most of my engagements are coming from Instagram, although LinkedIn is quite close. But the impressions, LinkedIn has more impressions than engagements. So this means more people saw the post on LinkedIn, but more people reacted to the Instagram post. So here you can already start getting some conclusions and think how you can improve either the impressions for Instagram or the engagements for LinkedIn. And at the end, you also have top read stories. Yeah, we only have 2 stories, but this would be a ranking with all of them. So you can also see which one has received more reads than the others. And the same with the social post based on engagement and based on impressions. So you can make conclusions. You can see that, for example, this post has worked better than the other one. How can you reproduce this for next time? So here you can take your do's and don'ts. Of course, if you use, for example, Google Analytics, you can also use it in combination with these insights to get a more 360-degree view. But that's also depending on what your goal is. And once we have checked the results and we do some reflection on the campaign, and my KPI was to get new leads, and the actual result is 45 new leads. So I think we did a good thing here. So that would be for the insights, and then our content marketing strategies is rounded up, is done. Now it's time to continue with the next one, because you should be doing this as a normal practice all the time. Actually, you can also have several strategies at the same time, as long as your resources allow that, of course. So this is it. I see some other questions. Do you have a good rule of thumb for images? What size to upload for a blog post that we also used on social posts? Well, each social media platform has its own recommendations, and this is what makes it a bit more difficult, because for Instagram it has to be square, but for Facebook it can be landscape. So this is the tricky part. What we recommend is that we have a help article in here where we give the best recommendations per social media platform. So let me try to find it out by image. Yes, I think it will be probably this one. Let me check. Yes, this one. So here we give you some tips on how to optimize these sizes, right? So we include a crop option, but also that you can make it smaller. You can change the ratio and the format yourself. You can also use our smart crop image. This means that the system, is going to crop the image based on the specific platform, based on the recommended sizes that we know per platform. So if you hover on the image with your mouse, you will see the option Smart Crop Image. So you can click on it. And if you want to do it yourself manually, which is also perfectly fine, we give you some ratios and some formats per platform. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google My Business, and also minimum recommended sizes and maximum, because you need to respect that, but anywhere in the middle will be good for all these platforms. I can send you this help article if you want to, and you can have a look. But if you have some more troubles with this, you can also contact us through the chat, and we can have a look individually to the specific image or the specific way of working that you have. I see a couple more questions. Can I add a story to multiple campaigns? Yeah, exactly. You can add story, but also a social post or an event. So actually you see it here. So you see here 2 colors, right? You see the pink one, but you also see a green one. This means that this social post is linked to 2 campaigns. So you see both in here. So the first one that you link is going to be the background color. It's like the main one. But all the campaigns that you add afterwards will be added with small color icons to it, so that you are also aware that this post is linked to another campaign. And if you click on it, like here, you will see both, or the 3 or the 5. So yeah, you can really link multiple, the same content to multiple campaigns. And you can do that in several ways. You can do that, for example, here by going to story. So you select 1, 2, or 10, it doesn't matter. This one, for example. And then you say actions, add to campaigns. And then you say, okay, I want to add this one and this one as well. So now this story will be added to the 3 campaigns. So you see it here. This one and 2 more. So yeah, that's perfectly possible. Can I create extra fields for social posts? Yeah, we have seen this already, so I'm just gonna show it really quick. If I go to my social post overview, I can show you, because I have one already, the targets one, so, and the budget one. So here I'm on my social post overview. I can select them. They are already selected. I have 3: budget, retargeted, and stage. So by going to the right, I'll be able to see them here. So yeah, you can add custom fields to social posts, and this will help you just to track information. Nothing else. Is purely internal information, just to track whatever data or whatever information that you want. And if you want to fill it in, you need to go into the social post editor, and then you click on the 3 dots here, you go to properties, and then you say, for example, budget is 50, and it's been retargeted, and the stage is, for example, first and second review have been done. These are just examples that I have. So now I save, I leave the social post, and now if I go to the left, to the right, I see that my custom fields have been filled in. So yeah, that's possible. Any other questions? I don't think so. If you need to know anything else, if you have any questions, if you start working with this new process and you find some questions, just let me know. You can contact us here on the chat. And also we have the Academy and the Help Center database where you can find a lot of articles. But you are welcome, all of you. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. Bye-bye.